Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. Yes, we've got some interesting news coming to you. Patch 3.0 highlights have just been dropped. That does not mean that patch 3.0 is live. In fact, throughout the whole highlights, it doesn't even tell us when it's coming. But we do know it's meant to be early December, so I'm hoping within 2 weeks this is going to drop. There's some really cool stuff in here. There's actually some new news as well, so stay tuned. I'm going to unpack it all, give you my thoughts, and yeah, let's see where we go. So, hi everyone, long-awaited Doom Tower is here. This is actually on the forums, which have had a bit of an overhaul, by the way, the raid forums, which is cool. If you want to check it out, I will link it below anyway. But Doom Tower is coming. That's the main thing. They're going to update some artifact sets as well. Awesome. Let's see what we've got. So, Doom Tower is going to be 132 stages, 108 common floors, 12 boss floors, and 12 secret rooms. So what we don't really know is, are there more than 4 bosses? Because we've seen 4 bosses in data mined info, and I've dropped that on a different video. They're telling us 12 incremental bosses, and then there's like a main boss at the top. But I think it might be the 4 bosses on rotation. They get harder as you go up the floors. I might be wrong. I don't know. We've got no more info in this, but 12 boss floors, 12 secret rooms. They'll be available normal and hard. Both of them are repeatable, and basically you get a month worth of play to try and beat the Doom Tower on both levels. You can do both normal and hard at the same time, progressing in each of those things. We've already talked about some of the secret floors. We do not yet know the detail of the secret floors on hard. I'm sure that's going to come soon. There's going to be rankings within this. And it says, yeah, rotating some of the bosses. So I think there's probably 4 bosses that are going to drop, is my opinion. So to activate these things, there's going to be gold and silver keys. It'll be very much like the faction war keys you get now. You will be given 10 gold and 10 silver keys each day, and they will reset at the start of the new reset day at the same time that faction wars resets. There's a limit of 10 for both. You can't like carry them over or anything like that. So you'll be able to progress 10 different levels per day, and you choose whether you want to do that on normal or hard. So the golden keys allow you to fight a floor for the first time. Silver keys give you access to secret rooms and bosses that you've previously completed. I'm guessing that a gold key is also for the first time you go into a secret room and the first time you go into a boss. A silver key lets you fight the room again to get the resources and stuff like that from it. You can't purchase them, so it's not a pay-to-win thing unless you mean the champions you need, in which case I guess maybe you can argue it is, but the actual gameplay is not pay-to-win, much like Faction Wars, and they've held to that. I've never seen a pack which sells Faction War keys, so that's actually pretty good going, actually. I'm surprised I haven't done that. And you can't pay with gems to reset, to open up different factions and stuff, so they've actually kept to that pretty well. Let's see what else we've got here. So Doom Tower floors follow a classic scheme. So the normal floors is just like 3 rounds of fighting waves, very similar to Faction Wars. But the boss fights will be different, and they will scale as you get higher through the content. So, you know, the bosses higher up are going to be much harder, and I'd imagine secret rooms higher up are going to be a lot harder as well. Secret rooms, you're going to be required to use a specific type of condition, whether it be just rares. We talked about this as well previously. So we'll release a video guide a few days before the update and give you info on the bosses, their strengths, their weaknesses, and some advice. Awesome. This is the Magma Dragon right here. So we know some of the details on this already. As I say, I've already dropped a video on this. Onto the rewards then. This is some of the juicy stuff. So completing a floor for the first time will earn you a set reward that cannot be farmed again before the Doom Tower reset. So this is a once every 30 days you get this reward. You can't get it again. Beating boss floors will reward you with materials for the Artifact Forge for these sets. I wonder if, because you can go in and fight the bosses again for resources, maybe that is something you can farm. I would hope so. So first set then, we've got Fatal, obtained from Koldath, the Magma Dragon. So this kind of further makes me think that it's the same 4 bosses on rotation as you go further up, because you must be able to get more than one one kind of effort of Magma Dragon artifacts. So I'd imagine you're probably fighting it like 4 times, 5 times or something as you go up, 3 times. So first one then, 2 artifact set gives you plus 15% attack and 5% crit. This is quite an interesting set. So at the moment you've got plain attack, which gives you attack, 15%. You've got cruel, which gives you 15% plus ignore 5% defense. And this is giving you plus crit. It's actually a nice 2-piece set. Sometimes you need that additional 5% crit rate. Is it better than cruel? I don't know if it's better than cruel. It's better than cruel if you need crit rate. And it's, in terms of like damage potential, I think cruel still wins, but it's better than cruel to just get you topped up on that crit rate. So I actually think this is a nice addition. I think this is a good set, especially for a 2-piece. The next one down, I really like. 4-piece set, plus 40 resistance and immunity for 2 turns. So almost what we're saying here is goodbye immunity gear. Pretty much, like, immunity gear is nowhere near as strong as this gear for the arena. Albeit there's only certain groups of champions that massively benefit from resistance, or certain builds that massively benefit from resistance, but still, plus 40 and immunity for 2 turns. It's blatantly a resistance. It's blatantly an arena set, and it's a very good one, and I think awesome. So this is from the Scarab King. Next one then, Affinity Breaker, like the name. This is from the Nether Spider. 4-piece set again, 30% crit damage, and 20% chance to deal a critical hit instead of a weak hit. So, for those that don't know, there's a 35% chance when you're against a negative affinity to do a weak hit. What this is doing is it's slimming down that 35% chance to 15% chance, which is pretty significant. But the set bonus of 30% crit damage, I don't think it's enough to push someone into this set. Like, if you compare, let's say I'm running an arena nuker right now, and I want to do maximum damage. Let's say you've got a Trunder. You would be putting Trunder in Savage Gear if you can do it. So if you've got a choice of Savage Gear where you've got a 1 in 3 chance of hitting a weak hit on the one maybe weak enemy, versus this gear where you significantly reduce your damage from Savage Gear, but you improve your chance of not getting a weak hit, I don't think it's enough. I think for me to swap into this gear, it would need to move to 100% chance to not have a weak hit. But it's still an interesting set. I liked what they're thinking with it. Maybe my numbers are out and actually it's better, but I don't think so. But it's still a kind of interesting set. So we'll see how that plays through. The last one then is Frostbite, obtained from Sorath the Frost Spider. So this is 2-piece set, 15% chance to resist freeze, which scales up. So you can have like 3 of this set on to make it 45% chance to resist freeze. And 10% chance to place freeze. So again, it could scale up. There is some freeze mechanics in the Doom Tower, so this could be quite nice for that. Again, I think it's going to be quite a niche set that isn't used a huge amount, but we'll see. So in addition to artifact materials, you can get champion fragments as well. And these champions cannot be summoned outside of Doom Tower. So these are literally just from farming the fragments. I like the idea of this. I think this is something which brings people into Doom Tower and makes them want to play it if they want these champions. And I'm hoping that the materials that you get will be available. It'll probably be legendary materials from hard, epic materials from normal, I guess. But we'll see. But I'm hoping that it's going to be kind of friendly for anyone in the game. Remember, you only get this reward once per cycle. So the fragments you can only get once per cycle. If we think about how long it's taken to get Drexar for a lot of people, that was 3 months. So maybe they'll be playing it along the same sort of lines. We've got no info. We're not sure. So let's go through them then. Tia, the Tomb Angel. Legendary champion, Force Knight Revenant. A1 then attacks 2 times at random. So a double hitter, 75% chance, probably will book to 100 of placing Hex debuff for 5 turns. So for those that don't know what Hex does, this is what Minotaur puts on you. but you guys might not even realize this, but Hex basically doubles the damage you do to that person. So it's a massive debuff. It's a massive debuff, and there's not another champion in the game that's got Hex other than Minotaur right now. So that's actually a massive debuff to place, doubling the damage that you do. If you ascend it, it goes on for 5 turns. If you ascend it, what's the difference? The debuff cannot be resisted. Wow. Each critical hit decreases the cooldown of Not on This World, which is down here. That's a huge A1. That's a massive A1. We've got an A2 then. Attacks all enemies. Damage increases by 50% for each Hex debuff on the enemy team. Stacks up to 300%. Removes all Hex debuffs from all enemies after attacking. Okay. Whew. So I guess you're kind of trying to stack up your Hex on your A1, and then you almost explode someone with the A2. Really interesting to see how that plays out. I mean, this stinks of, and this is on a 6-turn cooldown, this stinks of, is she going to be good in somewhere like a clan boss or like a boss fight? Because in PvP, you don't ever get this kind of length of turns going, but for PvE, this could be disgustingly fun. We then got Not of This World, places Perfect Veil on this champion for 3 turns and gets an extra turn. What's good about this is, so Perfect Veil is great anyway. You take less damage and you're hidden from the enemy. Night Revenants generally have a very low defense base. So, yeah, and I'd imagine that's going to be similar here. So it might be someone, again, that we're just trying to keep alive, basically. But I like the fact they've got Perfect Veil. A bit like Candrathon, Perfect Veil means he's got a good chance of staying alive for a while. And then he's got the passive here, 50% chance of placing True Fear on all enemies for 1 turn when an enemy loses 30% or more of their max HP in a single hit. Okay. So as long as someone in your team hits someone for 1/3 of their health, there's a 50% chance of placing True Fear on everyone. Whew, this is a crazy champion. This is crazy champion. It'd be interesting to see what her stats are like, but damn, that is a good start. Right, Domlock Skyhide then. Another Force champion. This is going to be a support orc. Attacks 1 enemy, 50% chance of placing Leech for 2 turns. Has 50% chance of placing a Leech debuff for 2 turns on 2 random enemies if this person's got full HP. Okay. It's quite a nice A1 actually. Probably books up to about 75 as well, or 60 or something. Leech is very viable in the game now, especially for clan boss, so pretty cool. Attacks 1 enemy, 60% chance of stealing 2 random buffs. It's okay. Also 6% chance of reducing the turn meter by 50%. Steals 50% of the target's turn meter instead if this champion's got full health. Okay, that's quite nice. And then we've got an AoE. Probably books to 100%. Decreased defense. Nice. The first hit on each target also has a probably 100% chance of decreasing turn meter. The second hit can place Weaken for 2 turns if this champion's got full HP. Very cool A3. Really cool. 6-turn cooldown, though, is long. I'd imagine that's going to be bookable at least to 4. Probably needs to be 3 or 4, really, to be viable, but still, crazy abilities. Whenever 4 or more buffs are placed on the enemy team in a single turn, places a shield buff on this champion equal to 15% of their max health for 2 turns. I'd imagine it's an HP-based champion, looking at the skills here, and pretty cool kit as well. Really cool kit, I think. Domlock, again, it depends what her numbers are like, her stats, but actually, I think 2 out of 2 good ones so far. Urhost, I remember this guy from when we thought we had a Battle Pass 2 coming, and this is, if they've not changed him, a great champion. So, attacks 1 enemy, HP-based champion here. Places a shield buff on this champion equal to 10% of his health. The shield's value increases for 1% for each poison on the target. Well, that's a maximum of 10. And it's probably more likely to be 5 or something. So, call this like 15% shield. It's okay. Attacks all enemies. 75% chance, again, probably books to 100 of decreasing turn meter by 15% of Let me read that again. 75% chance of decreasing turn meter by 15% for enemies on 1 or more poison. Also, probably 100% chance of putting a decreased speed on for 2 turns if there's 2 or more poisons. And a chance of placing a stun for 1 turn, 3 or more poisons. Pair this guy with Rish off the Bold, and you're getting stuns, decreased defense, and decreased turn meter all in one ability. Absolutely crazy. Tomb Lord would do the same as well. Taurus would do the same as well. So yeah, I love this. I love that there's some synergy that could go on with that. Instantly activates this skill when this champion is revived by Elemental Conjurer. Okay. Check that out in a minute. Places strength and buff on all allies for 2 turns and ally protection on his A3. Really cool ability as well. 5-turn cooldown. And then we've got a passive here. When attacked, 50% chance of placing a poison on the attacker. Whenever an ally is attacked under Strengthen, 50% chance of placing Provoke. So he's put Strengthen out there. When his allies get attacked, they get provoked. He then takes the hits himself and he puts poisons out. And then he's got some cool mechanics when you do poisons on the enemy. I kind of like this. It does mean that you need 2 or 3 turns to get him going, which for a current arena meta is unrealistic, but for other content could be fun. Whenever you've read that bit, increases champions max HP by 5% whenever an enemy receives damage from poison. Wow, that's huge. If it's an HP based champion, another 5% whenever they get damage from poison. Whenever an enemy receives damage from a poison debuff placed by this champion, also decreases their max HP. That's huge as well. This is a really interesting, fun champion. Cannot decrease champion's max HP by more than 25. Cannot increase by more than 50. Will not decrease boss's max HP. Okay, cool. This is like the ultimate stall arena defense if you can make it work. Depends what his base stats are, but I really want to see his base stats. I really want to see this guy in action because I think he sounds really, really cool. Really like that one. So Royal Archmage, is this the guy we had to pair with? No, Conjurer, wasn't it? So Royal Archmage then, it's Magic Affinity Bannerlord. This is unusual. We haven't got kind of wizards, so to speak, in the game. Certainly not in Bannerlord, so that's quite cool. Epic, attacks 1 enemy, fills this champion's turn meter by 10, fills by 20 if it's a crit. Okay, that's nice. A2, attacks all enemies. Attacks 1 enemy, then also attacks all other enemies if the first attack is a crit. So pretty obvious need to build him with crit for the first 2 things. Each hit has a chance to place a stun. After attacking, decreases the turn meters of each enemy without a stun by 20. Awesome A2. Really, really cool A2. So you're either stunning them up or you bring their turn meter down. Imagine this guy as your go second in the arena. Awesome, awesome champ. Places increased speed, increased crit, and increased crit damage on all allies for 2 turns. That's really cool as well. Immune to turn meter decreasing effects as a passive. That's very unique. And then speed in arena battles. I guess my only question is, once you're at Doom Tower and you're unlocking these champs, do you need them? That's the where do you how advanced is your set already? I guess if you're getting epics from normal Doom Tower, then maybe they're totally still relevant to your team, but definitely an interesting kit. I like it. Inferno Golem, Magic Affinity Demon Spawn, attacks 1 enemy, chance to place decreased crit rate. Okay, that's nice. Attacks all enemies, 20% chance of placing HP burn. The chance of placing it increases by 20% for each enemy alive. Whew! That is your HP burn for Spider right there. Absolutely awesome, awesome ability for Spider right there. AoE, 50% chance of increasing the cooldown of all skills by 2 turns if enemies are under HP burn. Also places a shield equal to 20% of this champion's HP on all allies for 2 turns. Instantly activates his skill when this champion is revived by Elemental Conjurer. Okay, that's the same name again. 10% chance of placing Fear debuff on enemies for 1 turn whenever they receive damage from HP burn. So Again, awesome champion for Spider. Looks like there's some synergies going to be going on as well. Generally, pretty fun kit. Pretty fun kit again. So here's this Elemental Conjurer we keep hearing about then. A Dark Elf, Force Affinity, chance to put block buffs out there, 75% chance of removing all buffs from all enemies, so like a Madame Cerise type move. Also has a chance of placing Weaken as well, so Madame Cerise, but without the decreased defense, really. Not bad though. And then we've got Revive an ally with 50% HP, then fills their turn meter. We'll also place block debuffs on them. And then you've got the two we just spoke about here. We'll also revive Inferno Golem and Eros the Soul Cage with 30% HP if they're on the same team, I think that's meant to say, and not the target of the skill. So she revives someone else. She'll also revive one of those two, or maybe both of those two, and fill their turn meters after reviving as well. If either of them are the target of that skill, the champion's revived with 50% and 50% and a block debuffs. Okay, it's kind of cool. She's kind of cool. She's a bit niche. Yeah, she's a bit niche. I don't know if she really gets into the meta with that kit, but it's certainly an interesting kit. Certainly interesting to work through this kind of revive thing going on here. So rankings then. Whew, there's loads in this. This is good. Each player who completes floor 10 will get a placement in Doom Tower rankings. They are separate in the following categories: Global and Clan. The rankings are further divided by... So we've got Clan... clan versus clan stuff going on here at last, and then individual global. The rankings are further divided by difficulty, normal and hard. Completing Doom Tower floors will give ranking points and increase your standing, much like what you see in tournaments. When the Doom Tower resets, the game will display a pop-up with the current rankings to highlight the most successful players. Hopefully there's some reward for that. I like that there's a clan versus clan type thing coming in. Don't know any more details on it yet. What does it actually mean? But at least they're thinking about it. And individual global rankings, you need this sort of stuff for anywhere in the game if you want competitive meta play. So we're not done. Artifact rebalance. 8 artifact sets where they're weak. We're going to change them up, basically. So retaliation, yes, it's weak. So they're making the retaliation chance up from 25 to 35. I don't think it's a big enough difference. Regen, heal up by 5%. So 15% instead of 10. Probably not a big enough difference. Maybe I'm wrong. Toxic set up from up to 75% chance to place it instead of 50. What they should do on Toxic set is just either make it a 2-piece set or make it a big poison, because this is still not good enough for me. So they've not fundamentally changed anything, really. They're just changing percentages. Reflex up to 40 instead of 30. Okay. Avenging, 45 instead of 30. Destroy. Destroy might get some airtime now because one of the bosses needs max HP to happen in Doom Tower. But again, still bad. Cursed. Curing. 20% healing instead of 10 for curing. 4-piece set. Don't know. And they're going to be bringing in Christmas decks. Okay, so that's it. I'm actually disappointed with that last bit. The last bit, I was hoping to see some cool stuff in there. It's the first time I read through the numbers, and for me, those set changes will not change the sets. I like the new sets that are coming in. The new champions look cool as well. I'm really excited for Doom Tower. Give us a date, guys. When's it going to drop? And yeah, give us like the full info on the bosses, please, as soon as, because that would be cool as well. I know we've had it in data mine stuff, but it's always cool to see it with the actual images and all that type of thing as well. So guys, loads to unpack in that. Let me know your comments below. What do you think about patch 3.0? I've been Hell Hades. I'll catch you later.